look at the image that we see on that screen and exactly how that tick is going to be able to show us some of that information. So we'll turn off the lights here in a second, and I actually there's two heat sources in the wall. There's a heat source on the side here. There's also a heat source up on the ceiling. So we'll be able to utilize this tick to be able to find some of those spots. So one of the things that we can do, and this is where there's a lot of customization that comes in on this pack. Since this one has the tick, one of the things that we have on this pack is we have it set up right now so that when this screen comes on, it's going to automatically go to that thermal image. So instead of me having to cycle over to that, I can go ahead and have that tick automatically pop up. Now that's something that you can customize. If you don't want that tick screen on right away, you can really choose whether that's coming on live right away or if it's something that you're going to automatically cycle back and forth from. And once we've got it on, all I've got to do is just push and hold that green button, and that's going to cycle back and forth. So I'm on my regular display there, I push and hold the green button, and I'm going to go right over to my tick mode. Once I'm in that tick mode, I can use those green buttons to cycle through all number of color palettes. So I've got 6 color palettes on here. You can keep all 6. If you decide you only want 3 or 2, you can actually customize that as well. So that's there right at your fingertips. Now one of the other things we'll do, and I'm going to flip the lights off just briefly, is one of the nice things on this pack is you've got what we call 360 degrees of visibility. So when this is on and operating, I've got green flashing lights on the front. They flash intermittently back and forth on the front of the SCBA. When I'm on the back side here as well, I've got intermittently flashing lights on the back. So I've got real easy ability to see anybody that's around me. Now those lights, as you breathe this cylinder down, are going to follow the same sequence as your heads-up display. So when I hit 50%, which is when my heads-up display would turn yellow, all the lights on the back are going to turn yellow, the lights on the front are going to turn yellow. You also get a yellow flashing light on that regulator. So now it's real easy for me to be able to look at anybody that's around me, and I can tell exactly where they are with their cylinder pressure. And the same thing happens on my display. And since this display is motion activated, when I lift it up, it turns on. I've got the big digital readout, but if you're somebody like me that has pretty big glasses, that yellow screen is just going to give me one more easy indication of where I am with the cylinder pressure. We continue down and we hit low air, all those lights are going to turn red. So now I've got red lights on the front, I've got red lights on the back, and they actually increase in intensity. So as you go from green to yellow to red, those lights are going to speed up. And that low air point is when this white LED comes on. So I've got a white LED that comes on. That's there to illuminate that UAC fitting so that whether I train on that fitting or not, it's going to be easy for me to be able to find. It'll be easy for any of my neighboring departments to be able to find. So that if I've got a RIT team come in when I'm in low air, there's no question that we're going to be able to get access to that fitting and be able to make that connection. So those are some of the lights that are built into that pack just to help make that a little easier for us to see and kind of increase that situational awareness for everybody that's around us. The other thing that we have in here that we've really been able to utilize, and I'm going to pressurize this again, is the Bluetooth radios. So we worked with Motorola. It's the Motorola APX series of radios. We're able to actually connect this radio via Bluetooth to that SCBA so that now when I'm on air and I queue up, I'm picking up not from the radio to the amplifier, but I'm actually picking up from the microphones that are inside the mask via Bluetooth, and I'm transmitting out. So where this brings in some real added level of clarity is especially when I'm working around a lot of noise. So if I'm running a saw or there's fire alarms or pass alarms going off, I'm not going to hear any of that noise come across the radio because I'm picking up purely out of the microphones that are inside the mask. And it's a very, very easy function to use. We use a tag just like this to be able to tell the SCBA which radio it's going to actually pair to. And in this case, I've actually already connected, or I've already paired those radios so that once I make the initial pair, I don't have to continue to pair the SCBA to the radio. I think of it a lot like my cell phone in my car. I connected my cell phone to my car when I first got it. Every time I get in the car, my radio or my cell phone automatically connects, so I'm ready to go. Same thing with the radio. So once I've paired it to an SCBA, I'm done with that pairing scheme until I need to maybe put another radio in place. But it makes it very simple. And on that flip side, just like my car, and I always equate kind of Bluetooth with my car. With my car, if I'm standing outside and I answer the phone, I'm not going to hear it because the voice is going to be inside the vehicle. This radio is going to automatically manage the connection with the SCBA. So it's going to pair to the pack, but it's not actually connected. It's going to wait until you take that first breath and you go on air until it's going to make that connection. And then now we're able to utilize that Bluetooth. When I disconnect from the SCBA, recognizes I'm not on air, it disconnects from the radio so I can go back to using that radio as a handheld as I normally would. So it automatically manages the connection between the two so that I'm not stuck in a situation where my pack is on but I can't use the radio because the radio is connected. It's completely automatic so that we're not left without use of that radio. So we wanted to make that really as simple as possible. So those are really the big exciting things for us here this year, is that TIC and the radio connections. Any questions on anything? Or you guys, we've got